Hello again. I'm looking up to the camera now. Hopefully I can maintain it. It's silly really, I think, because when I'm talking to myself, it's... Anyway, so today is a magical story really. It is magical for me because I've at last achieved something that I wanted to achieve with my daughter. I know this is in a saga, and you might think this story is very strange, but it I have to ask myself, okay, it's strange. I've got a habit if something happens to me intuitively, I believe it and I think it's beautiful and all that, and then I argue with it, so it goes away. So the magic, you have to listen to the intuition, the first feeling I have, the first feel. I've got to look at, I can't look at the camera, I'm feeling dizzy. So the intuition is to listen to the first thing that happens and what does it mean. Now, as you know, I've studied lots of traditions and lots of things. I'm very much into animals and things like that. So this is not unusual for me. Some of you might think I'm a complete nutcase, which I probably am. Some of you might believe it, but bear it in mind, just hold it and think it's a possibility. All things are possible, that's what I say. So this is a story, well, I've had difficulties, really letting go. I asked, and it's a new moon today, new moon in Leo, so that's quite a powerful, fiery new moon, so we can do lots of things today to achieve results if we try. So this is my story about achieving the impossible almost, really. It wasn't impossible. I have this way of dealing with, if I get really stuck, really stuck, I call on the angels, and it's a technique which I have found very successful. You call on your own personal angel guide. You call on the person you want to help or talk to, their angel guide, and you call on a connecting angel between the two that does the work. So if you can't get hold of the person and want to talk to them, somehow the higher beings can sort it out. I find that quite successful. It does take a bit of concentration though, and you have to be aware to listen to whatever comes, and it might not, because the other person might not even want to talk to the angels. So I called on the three angels. Will you help me to get the understanding? I'm the sort of person, I need understanding to accept things. Accepting it's one thing, but I have to know why. And this thing with my daughter, I've never really understood. I get all sorts of theories and theories. I go over and over, as you know. At the end of the day, I cannot work it out. I cannot let it go until I understand the truth. The truth of it, not her truth or my truth, the truth of a situation, what is going on. I want to know, accept it, and then let it go. So I did the angel technique. Anyway, yesterday morning, was it yesterday morning? Yes, yesterday morning, I was sitting in my garden. I've got a nice little garden, a little cottage garden, and there's a sort of wooden fence at the bottom. This very strange bird, now this is where it gets a bit weird. So get yourself a brandy. This very strange bird, he came and flew straight onto the fence. Now the fence, some birds they sit there for a bit and they fly off. This bird actually settled down, It's a post about that big in the middle, and he settled down on this post. It must have been very uncomfortable. I couldn't work out what sort of bird he was. He was a bit of a fat bird, but it was a bird I'd never seen before. And I was sitting just outside my back door facing this post and this bird, and I thought I had a little chat to him. Hello. I just want to see what's happening here. I've got a lot of no, it's okay. I think it's okay. Are we going? Yes, we are. So I just sat and talked to him. And I know it sounds silly, this just sounds silly, but have you heard of shape-shifting? Shape-shifting is an American technique, a North American technique, where a being can actually, the advanced light beings can usually do it. They change shape, they change their being into, they can become an animal, they can become anything, but it's usually somebody very important, and they will change their shape, it's called shape-shifting, to sort of achieve something. I don't know if this is what happened, I don't know, but I immediately felt that this bird had come to teach me something. Animals do teach us, I know that animals, not just talking, but they have so much wisdom. And I do believe that we can call on animals to teach us something, cats particularly, as you know. But this bird, he just sat there, and I began to get these thoughts. It's just thoughts, it's nothing profound, no words, just thoughts about this situation with my daughter. It was, I don't know if I should go into it or not really. I don't think she'd ever see the videos, but it wouldn't be fair to perhaps talk about details. But it was something very, very profound. There's a lot of misunderstandings. She has misunderstood me. I misunderstood my mum. I'm going through that as well with my mum. You can only, and especially children, you've only got a child's perception, haven't you? You look at your mum and your dad, and you haven't got the adult wisdom to really work things out. And she did say to me she didn't know what to do because she had a difficult time with me. I was a difficult mum, not because of a difficult person, but I was going through a very difficult marriage and a lot of stuff, and so she was an only child. It must have been really difficult for her to know what to do, and she said she didn't. Well, she wouldn't at the age of 10 or 12, would she? She wouldn't have that knowledge, and I think that's why she's taken up what she teaches, So anyway, this came to me, and I thought, yes, there's been a lot of misunderstandings, because a lot of the time I wasn't there. I was either ill, or I was crying, or I was off my head, or I was taking the tablets. I won't go into it, but I had a difficult time, and she obviously came to help me, to be there for me. I don't know what the karmic thing is, but she perceived it, that I wasn't there for her, and I should have been. I'm a mum, and I couldn't have been. It's what they call in psychology situational. It was a situation. It's nobody's fault, but it happened. And I think in her mind, she hasn't seen me as a caring, nurturing mother that's there for her, which is why I was so pleased that I was there for her at the wedding. And all this kind of, as I sat there, I thought, wow, it was really helpful for me to see that, because it's made me feel, well, it's nobody's fault, it's just one of those things, and I'd like to heal it, and if she would talk to us I would, but she won't, so that's that. So this bird sat there all this time, and the minute I got the understanding, I suddenly thought, yes, eureka sort of thing, it flew off. Now, make of it what you will. I don't, it is hard to believe, but I just know that. I'm not saying it was another being. It may have been, but it was a very unusual bird, and he sat there the whole time, ruffling his feathers or whatever, and then off he flew, and I got the understanding. So I came straight in here and began to type it out. For me, if I type things out or write them down, it does help to sort of make it solid, make it earthed, And I had the most beautiful visit, if you like, I think it was I am connected to my holy I am presence, and that's another story I could tell you, which is wonderful. It's very, very high being, I am present. It's light came, well, it wasn't just a little speck, it was huge. It was like a brilliant white cloud came into the room, and I knew who it was, and he was saying, well done, At last now I'm free, and it does feel like that. It feels like I've freed the very last vestige, the very last energy field that I needed to get rid of to make way for the new, because new moon, they always bring new energies in anyway. Leo is quite a creative moon, I think. Well, it's a very creative sign. Leo's a fire sign, so it depends where it is in your birth chart, but the new moon is there, came in this morning, today and tomorrow, and it's bringing this new energy for us to be very creative and to finalise things, I think, ready for the next phase. I'm just going to check the time a minute. It'll only be a short video because it's I say that, it's still nine minutes. Anyway, I just had to do it because I'm so full of it this morning. I thought I must pass this on about the information. I believe it. I know I do check it out. I think, are you off your head? I don't know, but it's a very strong feeling. I've got to listen to it, and why wouldn't it happen? Why wouldn't it? And so I do take it on board, and especially the understanding that came with it was so profound. I thought, well, feathered friends. I mean, I don't know if you believe I don't know what, angels. I'm not sure they are feathered beings. They have wings and stuff. I think they're light beings, but they're depicted as having feathers, aren't they? So I thought, well, maybe because they called on the angels, they sent me a feathered friend. I don't know. You could get into the realms of possibilities where you like, but everything works. Everything works, and I'm sure that the powers that be find a way through. They find a way to and find a way through to get to us somehow. And I think we have to be aware of the little messages that they do bring them. And like my blackbird, as and it's finding what's right for you. Cat, a dog, a horse, they do carry all these things. I mean, they're very wise creatures, Just because they don't speak in words doesn't really say they haven't got the wisdom. Okay, darlings, I think that's the I should think of more afterwards. Whenever I do this, I wish I'd said that. I wish I'd said this. I'm looking a bit crooked today. I think I'm shrinking. Well, I hope people do shrink. Some things get bigger, some things get smaller, and you just tend to sort of shrink. It's weird, isn't it? Oh, days is really weird. Anyway, it's a new moon today, so I've just been out to get myself some lunch. And I'm going to have a nice quiet day today. I could tell you a story about what happened to me yesterday, but it's too much for this one, and it's too peculiar. So I hope nice things are happening for you in the creative field, Moon in Leo, new meetings, new people. I hope I was going to meet someone today, but I didn't. So off we go then, darlings. I'm going to turn it off now and wish you well for the new moon and all it brings.